Hello, everyone, and welcome to Console Corner. A brand new episode here today. Yes, that's what we're doing. First thing is first, Soro002 is a member of the Paladins console community, let alone the Paladins community overall. He was a 15-year-old child working at a convenience store in Mexico. He was working at the convenience store as a 15-year-old behind the register to help his family pay bills as well as save up for his own PC to play Paladins on PC. The store was robbed. He showed no sign of struggle. He was told to kneel, and when they took the money, they executed him in the back. Paladins game from the LATAM has tweeted their condolences, as well as myself and hundreds of others. So we're going to take a moment of silence for Soro002. Please and thank you. Okay. It's a sad, sad story, but the world is cruel. On to our first topic today is Week 12's recap. That's basically what some of this is. Recap. Viral didn't play, so Cyclone got a free 3-0 victory. Let's be honest, it was going to be a 3-0 anyways. I just was trying to find a way to not sound mean saying that. Erwin Manor also did not play, so Flashpoint was also awarded a free 3-0 victory. Probably would have put up a better fight than Viral versus Cyclone, but still, I think it would have been a 3-0. Radiant versus Bust Down. Bust Down ended up winning 3-1. Game 1 was 4-0 in their favor. Game 2 was 4-0 in favor of Radiant. Luke Too Good and Scarcity did not play for Radiant. So a little bit of role swapperoo going on for Radiant there. Bust Down used their original lineup. That was good. Stush Gaming versus Aerial Rise. Stush Gaming actually beat Aerial Rise 3-2. The first game was won by Stush Gaming, and that's the first time they've actually led a set this season. Aerial Rise actually won game 2 and 3, but they ended up falling to Stush after leading 2-1. BYC Chico stepped up. He's a rookie. He's had a couple rough patches this season so far. He's made a lot of rookie mistakes. It seemed as if he hit a rookie wall there. But he's back in the running for Rookie of the Year. He kind of fell off there for a little bit. He stepped up big. He's actually Player of the Week for PlayStation 4. So congratulations to him. Two things I want to note in this is Stush Gaming actually banned Ascension Peak. Ascension Peak has only been played 3 times this season, if I remember correctly. Twice by Aerial Rise, once by Onslaught. Aerial Rise banned Splitstone Core. We all know why that happened. Elevate versus Retaliation. 3-0 in favor of Elevate. But there's a few things I want to note here. Elevate actually was swapping roles around. I don't know if this was for fun. They knew they were going to win this, so they've already qualified for LAN as well, so who cares? I didn't ask any of them. I forgot to. I was going to. Or it could have been a bug because you saw Pain playing Wonderful's champion and Wonderful playing Pain's champion. So that could have been a trade bug. Or it could have been, who cares? Let's just have fun. And also, Shu played a Nara while Wonderful played Saris the last game. That's also a 1-2 swap there. But for Retaliation, they showed up. That's 1. 2, they used the same roster they used the last time they played, which was not last week, coincidentally. But they didn't make any roster changes. And they actually were able to defend against Elevate one time, which is not that impressive, but still. The more impressive thing is in game 1, they were able to capture the first point. So they actually were on the offensive side. I think that's the first time Elevate's been on defense this year, actually. I can't really remember off the top of my head. Cats on Mars versus E-Storm. Cats on Mars won 3-0. E-Storm did a bunch of role swaps. Everyone was playing everything pretty much. Didn't really matter. Arafix was subbing for Taco Bell Waifu. He's back in the hospital again. He just had surgery too. So hopefully everything's all right with him. I hope, my prayers are going out to Sam as well. So I hope that, or Taco Bell Waifu, as most people may know him as. Hope he's doing okay. Arafix did do pretty well. He played Khan all 3 games, though. I think that's it's much easier for him. They didn't need anyone to play damage. They needed someone to play tank, and he's naturally a damage player. So putting him on Khan, I guess, is the best of both worlds. Lowkey Scheming versus Big Money. Lowkey Scheming 3-0'd Big Money, 3-0. 3 straight 4-0s, too. So Lowkey 12-0 against Big Money. Big Money was not able to take a single point off of them. And it was due to 2 things. NBK is now playing damage because Kev Falcon is playing off tank. He felt as if no one on the team playing off tank or frontline in general was creating enough space, and he was just getting hammered in the backline. This did open up some windows of opportunity for Galaxy since Kev Falcon was on that. NBK a little lackluster on the damage there. He did run Cardio Victor in game 1, by the way, so we have seen that already in the PCL. And Lowkey Scheming's drafts were pretty top notch, if you ask me. So props to them on the drafting. Moving on, though, Onslaught versus Heating Up. Onslaught tied the series at 2-2 this season against Heating Up. They were able to beat them 3-2 this past week. Onslaught played new drafts, actually. They didn't try to do the double heals. They didn't try to do anything wonky that they haven't really found any success with before, especially against Heating Up. They brought out Androxus, however, 2 times, once on Timbermill and the game after that. And TKO played it. He played it pretty well. I personally don't think Androxus is that good in the meta. I don't think he is as good as people want to think, especially people from PS4 EU, minus Flashpoint on that side. Their map choices were also a little different as well, and I like this. They banned out Frozen Guard, however, and I don't understand this. They actually took Heating Up to Frozen Guard once this season, and they were able to beat them. They did win another Frozen Guard match against, I think it was Big Money. So I think Frozen Guard is a map that Onslaught can play successfully. I don't know why they keep banning it out. I've spoke to Where to Guap before, and he says that they ban out maps that they're not good on. I beg to differ there. They're pretty good on Frozen Guard from the small sample size that I've seen. But they did choose some interesting maps. They chose Timbermill, or they did play Timbermill, and they won that map. So, you can cheese your way through stuff and bring more teams to Timbermill. And that's what I'm talking about. Bring some variety to the map selections here, because you could shake things up. Most teams aren't practicing Timbermill, so if you pick Timbermill, boom, there you go. And also, first time this season, Shattered Desert was selected. It was Onslaught's choice for map 5 or game 5, and they won it. So either they got lucky, or they just came out the best of 2 teams that don't play that map, or they've been practicing that map on purpose for situations such as this. Whatever it may be, they won. They should practice Shattered more, or at all to begin with. Miracle was having internet problems, or Jeff the Raccoon as he is known this season in the PCL. So Jeff was having, Jeff the Raccoon was having internet problems. He actually played game 1, which Heating Up did come out the victors. Game 2, they ended up losing, and he was also in that game, but he was having his internet problems were starting then. Games 3, 4, and 5, they had to bring in Destronite. Destronite played Ying twice, I think, and he played Maldamba the 5th game on Shattered Desert. They used Destronite in week 1 when Skeppy was having problems, and they lost that set. They used Destro when SJP got suspended, and they lost 1 game to Lowkey Scheming. And now they use Destronite here against Onslaught again, and they lost the set 3-2. I don't. Heating Up has to find a sub. They have to find someone who can sub, because this is obviously not cutting it. When Skeppy's PS4 was acting up, you thought, okay, well, we're not going to have any problems ever again. Then, SJP gets suspended, and you're like, crap, we need a sub. You released Destronite and picked up Cop as a sub. Then later on, you released Cop before he even did anything. And you bring Destro back in. I think Cop would have been the better situation here. Cop actually used to be a support main, and he's been playing tank and damage this season. So I think he's got an edge on Destro right now. I don't think Destronite actually plays the game outside of PCL if he has to play. I don't think Destronite was amongst the Xbox Elite who have crossed over to PS4 at any point in history. So, yeah. Moving on, Lowkey Scheming, aka LKS. It all comes down to this. Onslaught is facing big money. Heating Up is facing Lowkey Scheming in week 13, the final week. Neither Onslaught or Heating Up have secured a LAN spot. It's the only division that doesn't have a qualified playoff team as of right now for the MSI, aka the Midseason Invitational, right? So it comes down to this final week. Here's what has to happen. A lot of people, they don't really understand what's going on, right? So Onslaught is in second place. Heating Up is in first place. Heating Up is in front of Onslaught by 1 map. 1 map. That's it. 1 win. So Onslaught needs to and should 3-0 big money. They need to beat big money 3-0. They cannot afford to lose a map, especially when Heating Up needs to lose a map, right? Onslaught cannot afford losing a map to big money. I don't think they will, but, crazier things have happened. Onslaught needs to and should 3-0 big money. Now, if Heating Up 3-0s, they go to LAN. That's it. They'll be up by 1 still, right? So if Heating Up beats Lowkey Scheming 3-0, Heating Up goes to LAN. If Heating Up wins 3-1, they are tied with Onslaught, and we'll talk about the tiebreaker here in a second, right? Both teams will be 10-2. They'll both be 2-2 against each other. And we do have confirmation from the admins what the third place tiebreaker will be, because they'll both be 10-2 and they'll both be even in game differential, okay, in map differential. So if Heating Up wins 3-2 or they lose, so even if they win 3-2 or they lose at all, Onslaught will make LAN. As long as they 3-0, by the way. So here's the tiebreaker. Originally, I thought it was going to be, two options. But we have confirmation from the admins as of this morning, about 2 hours ago. I asked them at 5 a.m. So I asked them about 8 hours ago. And they got back to me about 2 hours ago. They said, if it ends up being a tie where they're both 10-2 set-wise on the season, and they both have the same game differential, then the tiebreaker will be a best of 5 set between Heating Up and Onslaught. So if they end up being tied, if Onslaught beats Big Money 3-0 and Lowkey Scheming can just take one map from Heating Up, even if they lose, if they can force a game 4 against Heating Up, then Heating Up and Onslaught will have to play a best of 5, 1 set, winner goes to LAN series. Okay? So there you have it. Might I remind you that PS4 North America in the PCL last season also came down to the final week when Oni Channers and Elevate faced off. This time we don't have the two teams fighting for land directly facing off against each other, but Onslaught's fate is in Lowkey Scheming's hand. Heating Up should be rooting for Big Money to just take one map. But yeah. So week 13 moving in. Final week of the spring split here. 4 key matchups. Of course, we have Big Money versus Onslaught. Onslaught needs to win 3-0. Second matchup to look for would be Lowkey Scheming versus Heating Up, of course, because Lowkey Scheming needs to take one map for Onslaught to have a chance. If they take 2, that's even better for them. If they win, that's amazing. And then my next 2 is going to be Bust Down versus Cyclone, just because that's the top 2 teams in their region. I don't think that it'll change anything. It'll be interesting to see if Bust Down comes in with their normal lineup or if they try and sandbag some people in again. At this point, I think if I'm Bust Down, I should just play with my normal lineup because, it's the last week of the season. Cyclone's already clinched the playoff spot. Try to finish strong. Build even some more chemistry and game sense together as a unit to look forward to going into the next half of the season here. And then Flashpoint versus Stush Gaming. The reason why this is on my list is because, Flashpoint's qualify for LAN. They're still going to play like it's an important match. But Stush Gaming has just beaten Aerial Rise. They're the only ones that still take a map off of Flashpoint. I want to see how Stush finishes the season. Do they finish strong or do they kind of, we're in last place. We're going through relegations anyways. Who cares if we win this? Let's just pick whatever we want. But if they finish strong and they play it like, they're 0-0 still in the season, then I'll be looking forward to that. So that'd be interesting. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about relegations here. Urin Manor have confirmed they will not be playing in relegations. Okay. Viral, I don't think they're going to be playing. They didn't show up for the last 2 weeks of the PCL. So I think 2 weeks ago they were set to play. Some emergency happened for someone in real life. They couldn't get a sub in time. So they were unable to play. This past week, I don't know what happened. They didn't reach out to me. I didn't reach out to them. That's fine. It's partly my fault. But at the same time, they didn't play. So I don't know if they'll be showing up for relegations. Obviously, they're going through relegations. Eaststorm, I think it's doubtful that they'll try to play through relegation. If they do, they might have a new lineup or, some of them might split and make different teams. I know V8 is looking for a team, and he was previously on Eaststorm. Big Money, I think it's doubtful that they play together. I think, as I stated in our last episode of Console Corner, I think the Big Money experiment is over. I think it's done. I think we've gathered the results from this, and I think it's time for them all to move on. They have one more week against Onslaught. As we previously noted, I think they should try and finish as strong as they can, and each individual player should try to get their stock value up for other teams to look at them. Because there are teams, and we'll get into this here briefly, but we're going to have a full video on it on Console Pro News' YouTube channel here in a week or two. Teams that need upgrades or could do with some roster changes. I think Stush Gaming and Lowkey Scheming, they'll have to go through relegations, but I think both of those teams will make it back in, especially when Big Money might not play. I'm still unaware of their decision. Urin Manor, the only team that is gonna have to go through relegations, has confirmed, or is the only team that has confirmed they will not be playing in relegation. So Both of those teams could only have themselves plus whoever comes through open bracket. So I think Stush and Lowkey Scheming will make it back into the league. I think Retaliation and Radiant will not make it back into the league. Now, Radiant, I think, won't make it back into the league, but at the same time, they will, because there's not that many teams in Xbox EU, especially after the debacle of the last group stage qualifier to get into this PCL. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, Radiant has a few problems, and we'll talk about those later on this week in some more videos as well. These teams should disband, if you ask me. They're past the rebuilding stage. That would be Big Money, Retaliation, E-Storm, Radiant. The next up, potential teams I think will make it into the PCL as of right now without even watching any teams come through open bracket right now. Nova Defiance has been looking pretty decent. They have a solid lineup of some players that grind the game. And also Ancients Gaming. Now, Ancients Gaming, interesting here. We'll talk about it in a second, actually. I have it for the next topic. And then the last team that could be potentially in the PCL from what I know right now could be the new PS4 EU team that is consisted of Donka, Beanie, and Tito. I'm super excited for that. First of all, Donka's back, Italian brethren. Tito's back, also Italia. But, he's Rookie of the Year in the 2018 PCL. So we haven't been able to see him for almost 3.5, 4 months now. So, that'll be good to see him come back if he does. And then Beanie. I think Beanie's an underrated tank player. He played really well for Iron Manor despite their lack of success as a team. But yeah. Okay, so we do have confirmation from Duffman. They will be playing, Viral will be playing the final week of the season, but they will not be going through relegation. So that's kind of, but they're not Viral anymore. That's the thing. Sorry. Just so used to calling them Viral. I hate having to change logos and stuff. Let's talk about upgrades. Upgrades, short, brief, to the point here. Stush Gaming. I think they could use either a new main tank or a new DPS. The Rain is really good. Or is not really good, but he's been doing a fine job. He started off the season terrible. But he's been getting better and better over time every week. I think it's because this is his first season actually having to play main tank or tank at all. He's usually a damage main from the past. So, maybe it was just some time. He needed some time. But with teams like Iron Man are going to disband, you have V-Clax, good main tank. You could bring V-Clax into Stush Gaming. Put the Rain on the bench, because this team, they're a little sloppy with their subs. They have some subs. They haven't had to use them. They used the sub one time this year. But they had another sub, Super Sipo, I think it is. Never used him. They used someone else as a sub. I think it was Tetsu, or I forgot what it was, but wasn't up to par in the PC, I'll tell you that. So if you put the Rain as a sub, you have him being able to sub. You can sub in as a blaster, DPS, or you can sub in as a main tank now. And then you move V-Clax into that main tank role. The only thing holding V-Clax back with Stush Gaming would be, one, Stush has a very good dynamic of team flow, team chemistry. So V-Clax would have to catch up to that fairly quickly. But also, V-Clax kind of has these internal problems with himself. Sometimes, he gets down on himself. Don't do that, by the way, anybody. Just shake it off, move on, no matter what happens. So, those are the two biggest things holding him back. But I think V-Clax would be a good move for Stush Gaming. Also, Birch, I heard. A lot of people may not know this name. So, Birch actually was a player for Burrito on PS4 EU with Legacy way back in the day. We're talking, they signed to Burrito, but they were previously known as Mobtown R2B, I think it was. So, I mean, hey, if Birch can play main tank, then boom, there you go. You can come in on the stush. For the DPS that I said, Nico stepped up. But it's really tough for Stush to have a leader on DPS. They have Chico, who's a rookie. He's made some rookie mistakes, as we spoke about earlier. And Nico, he's had some up and down moments as well. So if they can bring in a veteran DPS player, someone who can coach those two up, I think it will do wonders for them. Ancients, Styles has been moved to sub. He's got some stuff going on in IRL. But Yui, apparently from Bust Down, has expressed interest in playing for the Ancients, so that could possibly go through. I think that'll be a good move as well, which means Bust Down would need a main tank. Let's talk PS4 and A. Any team in this region needs a Makoa player. That's just every player in PS4 and A right now that does play Makoa is a main tank Makoa, and he's not a main tank anymore. So there's no right now Makoa players, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, Whoosh is good on Makoa as a main tank, though. You have let's see, we have Little Big White Boy. He's a good main tank Makoa. Then you have geez, who else? I think that's about it. They don't have a Makoa player out there. Business from Lowkey Scheming, but he's a main tank, so. I think Onslaught needs a better main tank. I think the other shutter does a nice job, but he was excelling this season early on as that flex DPS player, playing the pit, playing some damage champs as well. He can main tank pretty well, but I think if they were to upgrade, if they grabbed Yui, they grabbed V-Clax, or they grabbed someone, even Sir Benji as an upgrade. We know where they were looking at Sir Benji a couple weeks ago. If they were to grab a better main tank player or a more skilled main tank player than the other shutter, I think they'd have a better option. And other shutter could also be a sub, or you could slot them back into that flex position, put someone else on sub. Doesn't matter. They need a solidified sub as well. Heating up, speaking of subs, they need a sub. But I wouldn't worry too much. SJP will be coming back, so, hopefully, especially for heating up, hopefully, after the MSI event. He should be able to come back. So who gets to be the sub then at that point? That's my question. I think it'll all depend on what happens at MSI. I think Radiant needs a main tank as well. Radiant has they have Fluxy and Tapsy. Okay, Fluxy should be playing support. Tapsy should be playing support, but one of them has to play off tank, and it should be Tapsy over Fluxy. Now, they need a main tank. They need Luke back. But at the same time, Luke is like transitioning into main tank still, in my mind. So, he's not the greatest for that yet, but there we go. So that's a couple little small upgrades for right now. But we'll talk more about that once we know what the landscape's going to be looking like here at the end of the season. Ego check. Yeah, let's talk about ego check. I know I talk about egos all the time, but I just was like sitting here thinking, and I'm like, wow. Some big egos have been put in check this season. Long season, too. Bust Down, for example. They talk a lot of mess about Cyclone and about the EU Xbox scene and blah, blah, blah. Well, hey, Cyclone's going to LAN. You're not. Xbox NA, except for Elevate, has been humbled, I believe, None of you can beat Elevate at all. And that's the weakest region in the PCL, so humbled. I think Paradoxy from Aerial Rise has probably been humbled. If not, he should be. He complains a lot about people not playing Guild champs. This past week, he's had to play regular hit scans. Can't play the Andro as much. Definitely cannot play the Eevee as much anymore. So, you know, it's time to get off your high horse, bud. You're in the PCL, dude. Your rookie season's almost over. Radiant, I think they were humbled. They only have 4, or they could potentially only have 4 wins this season. They have 3 right now, and it's only the 3 they've played viral. So it's time to humble yourselves. I think MBK and Roman Rulers have been humbled. Roman, of course, is going to say no, he hasn't been humbled. Blah 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 blah. You know, 50% of Roman Rulers' popularity is because of his Twitter. But at the same time, he left the team. I think that was good for him. He said, you know what? This is not going to help me. I need to look toward the future. So he was kind of humbled. Also, MBK, I think, has been humbled. Tried to play main tank, wasn't working. Tried to play off tank, wasn't working. Now he's playing damage. I don't think that's working either. I think MBK is going to have to take a step back and say, hey, I'm not as good as I thought I was. I'm not as good as I once was, like on Runaways. I need to work on my game, and I need to kind of just chill on the everything else except for grinding, I guess. But shout out to Roman Rulers. If anyone can go back and find the tweet with him saying, you know, we quoted him. I think it's on the Console Pro News channel. He said, at some point in this season, I'm going to sit there and say, this is a top tier team. Anybody wants to go back and be a nice little back and forth conversation with him, since he'll just meme the whole time. And I think Destro has been humbled. He is not part of that Xbox Elite group of players that have transferred to PS4 since the beginning of time here. I think Destro really needs to start grinding the game if he's going to have to be the sub for heating up. But that is where we come in with big miracles. So what are some big miracles that could happen? Well, Miracle's internet doesn't poop. That would be a miracle for heating up. Miracle's internet does take a poop. That would be a miracle for Onslaught. Big Money takes 1 map off of Onslaught. That would be a big miracle for heating up. LKS wins the set versus Onslaught. That's a big miracle for Onslaught. Or they win the set versus heating up. That would be a big miracle for Onslaught. Stush beating Flashpoint. Listen, that would be a big miracle for all of Console Paladins, because it would show how much it means when a team sticks together through tough losses and grinds their way all the way through a season. They only subbed 1 player 1 week because someone was on vacation. It was Nico Noob. Other than that, they've used the same lineup every single week. And then Retaliation, if they were to take a W over Cats on Mars, that would be a big miracle and a big win for all of the ranked monkeys everywhere. Because that's basically what Retaliation has been this season. But yeah, that's it for today. Console Pro News. My name's Blue. Yeah. By the way, don't forget to check out the website, consolecorner.co. A lot of people come to me every single day. Hey, what's our record? Hey, what's my stats? Hey, what is this? Hey, what is that? Hey. I don't even respond anymore. And when I do, I just type in the website URL. Everything you need to know is on that website. You no longer need to message me. You no longer need to ask a million people for anything. The rules are on there. The schedule is on there. The standings are on there. The stats are on there. The power rankings. Everything possibly known to PCL is on the website. By the way, after MSI, Console Pro News will be covering PPL and PML as well. So look out for that. My name's Blue. Follow us on Twitter at Console Pro News. Check you later.